Hey, party people. I hope y'all are doing good. Sorry for the timing. It's been a bit manic today, to say the least. So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope this Aquarius full moon is treating you guys well. I hope you guys are getting the opportunity to release some of your old programming about how you're viewed in societal structures and where you actually see yourself in society, because this, I'm sure, is going to be an interesting one for us. We've got a lot going on with this Aquarius full moon, so there's a lot of charges to take place. Hey, SP, welcome to the room. Hey, everybody. Do you know what? I received you guys' prayers from last week. It was good. Actually managed to get my energies back up. I am on auntie duties. I couldn't even get my hair done, y'all. I was trying to get cute for y'all. But the night, hey, Bobby. Hey, guys. I'm doing better, man. I'm doing better. I'm glad that I could make it into the space today because it was a little bit touch and go at some points of the week. So I wasn't sure how things were going to go for tonight, but here we are. Here we are. We're going to go and chop it up and see what insights we can find. I'm happy to be live, Mina. I'm happy to be live. I appreciate you guys' energy. It is hard to stay consistent. On that note, we're going to get the show started. We're going to go into the countdown and get the intro going. Hang tight, guys.
Staring at herself in the mirror on the restroom door. Voices in her head that mirror what she's heard before.
Yo, it is time. Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's dissect it. Let's unpack it and chop it the hell up because we need to know what's going on, y'all. There's a lot going on for us to kind of like assist us. So let's see what we can do. We've got Shetty on the list first. Shetty, my love, can we get your question in the chat? And let's dive into it. Hey, Gypsy. Lovely to have you. Oh, divine. Let's get your question going, Shetty. And guys, let's have your questions ready for each person so we can kind of wrap this up fairly quickly. I think I'm going to have about 10 people on the list, I was told today, because I'm juggling a bunch of stuff. So just so you guys know, the list is going to be closed at 10 people. We're going to let a few more people get into the room. At the minute, we are at 7 people, so we've got 3 more lucky messages to come through, and then after that the list is closed. The guides have told me we're working with 10 portals tonight, so we are going to dive into it. Shetty, love, can we get your question? I don't know if you're typing. You might be a slow typer. Oh, your question might be long. Oh no, we've got it. Got your question, my love. Actually, I see your questions up here. What are current feelings or thoughts? Jamshir, Scorpio, towards me. Thank you, Shetty. I received that. I received all that love. Let me just bask in that for a minute. Thank you, girl. Okay, let's go and dissect it. We want to know for Shetty, right? Jamshir's. We want to start with the feelings, and then we'll unpack the thoughts on the situation. right? What's Jamshir's feelings towards Shetty at the minute? As clearly as you can, guys. Let's see what can you tell us about their feelings. Okay, thank you. Right, Shetty. Okay. So as far as their feelings towards you, it seems like they're a little bit, how can I put it? I don't know what the dynamics here on the situation are, but there seems to be some consequential damage. I want to say some consequential damage for them actually having feelings towards you. I can see that as far as the consequences on the situation, they're not too bothered about the consequences. Okay, so let me not say that they're not too bothered. It's not that they're not too bothered because the consequences on the situation, it feels like it does cause some anxiety, but they're still willing to kind of, they're secure to go ahead and, I guess, cultivate something with you. I do want to say this, their thoughts aren't all the way aligned in terms of how they see things with you just yet. I think, again, it has to do with some of the consequential baggage. I'm going to call it consequential baggage with the situation. And yeah, their thoughts seems to be a little bit scattered and all over the place somewhat, but they seem to be in control of the scattered thoughts that are all over the place somewhat. I want to say somewhat because I guess that's the projected version, like they're in control of the situation. But I don't know that they're actually all the way clear internally. What are their feelings? Let's go to the romance cards. What are their feeling? Their feeling. Let's clarify this. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, okay. Okay. They're kind of oh, thank you, Shetty. I appreciate you. They're kind of, I guess, clearing their energy on the situation. It seems like, and I don't know what the scattered thoughts, because it seems like things with you guys are very complicated, and I'm like holding my crown as I even sit into the space, because it seems like there's so many variables to the situation. It's not just a straight direct sort of dynamic, even though it feels like it should be. I don't know how else to put that, but it seems like it comes down to prioritizing when it comes to the dynamics with you. That's why it seems so complicated, because there's a lot of other factors. What are their thoughts on the situation about? Okay, 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 okay. Gonna clarify. Please clarify. What are their thoughts? Okay. 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 Yeah. Hmm. So their thoughts on the situation when it comes to you, it feels like there's already been missed opportunities to really kind of take things to another level. But I think they're at a place where they're kind of wanting to make that decision very clear now. I think that they're kind of like almost deciding that they want to kind of pursue something with you and actually like move towards some of the future goals. Because I feel like they've been a little bit stagnant in terms of the way they've been saying that they want to be able to kind of like move forward in a certain direction. But as far as like being actionable in some of the things that they've been saying, their actions haven't been aligning with their words or like all the way. So it's been a little bit confusing to really be clear about what it is that they actually want from the situation. But I feel like in their thought process, they're actually at that point where they feel like they're ready to make a decision on the situation. And it feels like it's they're being a little bit aloof. They're kind of they're not all the way clear on the fact that they're actually at the point where they're making a decision to actually move forward in the situation. But I think that's because they're still figuring out how to deal with this juggling thing that I was speaking about, this prioritizing stuff. What's the overall like message, I guess, for Shetty with this situation? Because it seems like they're kind of there, but they're not all the way there yet. There's like the circumstances around it seems to be a little bit tricky to navigate. Okay. Yeah. They're saying, okay, clarify. They're saying that the situation that you guys are navigating through, it's all about timing. Right now, it's like unlikely air. So what they mean by that, whenever they say that, it's like the stars hasn't necessarily aligned. They usually sort of put it across that the stress path isn't all the way clear just yet. And this is some of the stuff that I was talking to you about as far as like some of the other variables to the situation. Right now isn't necessarily the time to sort of like really take action, or at least that's what they're sort of saying, you know, as far as where their mind is at. Jamshir, they're saying that they're not necessarily at a place where they're fully able to sort of like take the necessary steps forward just yet, because things aren't all the way clear on their end. But they're somewhat hopeful. Clarify. Okay. Yeah, I think they're kind of still at the stage where they're you guys are still getting to know each other. I want to put it like that. You guys are still kind of like getting to know each other. I think they're kind of observing, like, as you guys are peeling back some of these layers, they're kind of at that place where they're understanding a little bit more about where you guys have similarities, how you guys are compatible. And it's really giving them an opportunity to kind of see that the bond can be deepened and it can be strengthened. But this is something that's going to take time. They can't just be impulsive and rush like straight into everything just yet. They do have like, I guess they do have like a vision on the situation, right? But they need to be able to make sure that everything is aligning in the way that they feel comfortable. I don't want to say they're a bit of a control freak, but I think that they like to make calculated decisions. And I feel like they're at the place where they're trying to make sure that, logically speaking, it's going to be a good situation for both of you guys, because I feel like they don't necessarily want to miss out on the opportunity to kind of like take things to the next level, but at the same time, they're still proceeding with caution, is what I'd say. So yeah, it's a time sensitive sort of situation. Okay. Right. So yeah, Shetty. Yeah. You guys like are peeling back some of the masks in the situation. You know, you guys are peeling back some of the masks in the situation. So just let the process kind of like happen as it needs to. I think that they're there almost, almost. They just want to be able to kind of like be sure that they're making the right decision. They want to be sure that they're making the right decision. Okay. All right, guys. I hope that was useful for you, Shetty. They got all this king energy. So they want to be able to make sure he's with a third party. So yeah, thank you. Because I'm saying that it's very complicated, but he's almost there. I think that it's really just a case of timing on the situation, just because, yeah, it's it's just not that simple. So there's still a lot of indecision that's taking place at the minute, but they're almost at the place where they're sort of able to make that decision and be comfortable with the consequences, because the consequences that are going to come is going to be heavy. And I think they're still they're still figuring out how to activate the spirit of courage to be able to make that decision. Okay. So it really is just one of those situations where you have to kind of like decide how much patience you have left, and where your tolerance level is with that at the minute, to be fair, because the circumstances just doesn't permit like things to align right now as it is anyways. Okay. Mina, let's get your question, beautiful. Let's get your question. Just to sort of also say as well, Shetty, I think that they're kind of at a place as well. Oh, thank you, beautiful. I received that. I received that with gratitude. Thank you. I received that. I think they're just trying to make a mature decision. And I think, yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. They haven't necessarily matured to the decision that needs to be made just yet, or handling the decision that needs to be made just yet. So, yeah. Right, we're gonna go and see about Fahad. Let's see, guys. Fahad. Mina wants to know about Fahad. We're gonna start with feelings. Okay. 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 Okay, cool beans. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see why it's so complicated then. I see why it's so complicated. Yeah. That's why I sort of like mentioned to you, like it really is about what your patience and tolerance level is with the situation, because it looks like it's going to be complicated for a while as far as the status in that space. Like it's an unlikely air, like there's too much. So yeah. Yeah, that's intense. That's intense. Let's dive into Mina's space and see what Fahad's feelings are. Thank you for sharing as well, Shetty. I appreciate your openness and transparency. Okay. Okay. Okay, clarify this for me. Yeah. Yeah. Fahad's feelings towards Mina, what does that mean? In what context? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Mina, your card's fallen. Had to go and grab that from the floor. Okay. Okay. Well, as far as his feelings, he kind of feels like you guys have a natural chemistry. It's a good connection. He feels like it's a safe space for him to be able to kind of like be himself. He doesn't necessarily feel like there's much focus, I guess, on really sort of like building on something. And this is how I want to put it, right? And when I say building on something, you know, like sometimes we sort of say like a relationship isn't necessarily working, but it's not the relationship that's not working. It's more or less the people that are in the relationship that aren't fulfilling the work that needs to be done. That was like a whole tongue full, but it's one of those sort of dynamics, like the chemistry's there, and you know, it feels like it's a safe place to sort of like be yourself and everything like that. But there still isn't like enough focus being channeled into that space to really sort of like build upon the foundations of it. And I think that they're comfortable almost with that dynamic, and that's how they see the space, because I guess that's what the space has been built upon up until this point. What are their thoughts on the situation? Okay. Okay, they got lots of thoughts. Okay, their feelings are pretty clear, but they got lots of thoughts on the situation. So let's see what this little storybook, because this is a whole little chapter right here. I'm probably even gonna need to make room to unpack all of this stuff. Okay, Mina, let's see what their thought process is on the situation. Let me just receive it, because like I said, it's a whole chapter. So let me see what the story is on this as far as their thought process. Okay. Okay. So from what I can see with their dynamic, it feels like they're dealing with some sleepless nights themselves. Okay. So they're struggling themselves to kind of like mentally, because the emotions are one thing, right? But the way that the mind processes all of these things, because the mind dissects like all of these compressed feelings into thoughts, and then you got all these thoughts firing off, right? So this is why it's a whole story. Let me tell you the story now, Mina. So it seems as though he's kind of like feeling some type of way about how, I want to say selfish he may have been, and I want to say him because it seems like it's more of an internalized like reflection, right? He's kind of carrying some guilt, I want to say some baggage on how selfish he's been towards his I want to say family dynamic. And I think with the situation, the lack of teamwork and the lack of effort to kind of like make sure that things are, solid, because it's like things right now is very fleeting. Like this is how I'm seeing the energy. So like up there, right? Like how they say, sometimes we got to pray to bring some of the things that God's already sort of like willed for us in heaven, right? It feels like up there, how I'm seeing it in the heavens, if you will, right? It's not really like solid. The particles aren't laid that well. So the visionary, the image, it's not all the way clear. It's pixelated, and there's fragments of the pixel that's missing. That's the best way that I can put it as far as like the lack of teamwork. So when I speak about lack of teamwork, like that's the image that they're showing me. Like both of you guys don't necessarily have alignment on the perspective of how you guys see the vision of your future together. And that has kind of like distorted the vision in itself to the point where it's fragmented and pixelated in the heavens. So it's difficult for it to ground for you guys, right? But I think that they're kind of at a place where moving forward with the situation, they kind of want to get to a place where they are, feeling like things can actually be successful between you guys. I feel like they want to be able to complete. Because it seems like there's this journey that's going on, like emotionally, there's this emotional turbulence that's kind of taking place as like this flight is happening, right? Like when you're flying, things ended between us after he was forced into a marriage by his family. Okay, thank you, because I could see that there's some situation that's going on around the family dynamics. He's not necessarily the happiest, but he's kind of I want to say hopeful. I don't know how hopeful he is as far as like the situation for you guys. He does feel like you guys have a good chemistry and like it's a safe place, but like where he can actually be himself, because I think that right now he's kind of like giving a representative in terms of like his entire persona. It's like somebody that has been built. It's this protective, how can I put it? Entity. That's just the best way that I can put it, right? It's this protective entity. It's like it protects them from like daggers being thrown from the outside. But mentally, they've dealt with a lot of like waking restlessness. So a lot of late nights, just kind of thinking about the situation, hoping that it can be successful someday. I don't know how much they believe that. I want to say it's a hope. I think that they hope that by them doing what they've done now, as far as the dynamics that they're going through, like they've pleased their family and their family will be happy enough to be able to just kind of like get off their back about, I guess, like not constantly coming at them, even though that's not true because like I'm seeing it, like they just found something else to come at them as well. Being pregnant, and that still hurts. And I truly felt today that it is, oh, my love, sending you some energy for like processing that it's like processing the loss again, like on another layer of itself, like on a new level, like a new chapter of the heart. So my heart goes out to you on that dynamic with the situation. But I think he's finally sort of like looking forward to like his happy. I think that he feels like the situation that he's kind of in right now has pleased the family. And as much as he has regrets about the situation and as much as he's disappointed about the situation, I think moving forward for him, he's kind of seeing that the situation is actually it's closed. It's closed. I think that it's a completed cycle. Yes, processing the loss all over again. Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I know that it's like a lot. I wouldn't say content and happy like within himself. I think he feels lighter of the burden of like people constantly having opinions about what he should do. It's like now they should be pleased. So he's grateful that they're no longer sort of like on his back, if you will, about, you know, doing this and getting married and like doing the whole picture and the happy life type situation. I think that is more or less where he's at. He's more relieved than happy. And I think that sometimes people confuse the two. I wouldn't say there's ever really a point that he's happy. I think he gets to a place where he can accept that things are like well and truly over between you guys. And I think he grows into the person that everyone else wanted him to be. That's probably the best way that I can put it. He grows into the person that everyone else wanted him to be, with some sense of regret for the pieces of himself that he loses along the way, because I think that he could have like he would have become like a whole different person if you guys kind of shared a life together. But like I said, in the heavens, it wasn't clear. Like the entire picture for you guys wasn't all the way clear. It was very fragmented. And I think that pieces of those visions still holds him in regret from time to time. So I wouldn't say he's happy, but I do see that he's relieved that he's making the family proud. So that seems to take priority over his own wants and desires, I guess. And he learns how to accept where he is with his situation. Okay. Yeah, guys, that is it. That's it, Mina. But thank you for sharing. Thank you. Miss Yaz, it's your go. Do you know, guys? I don't know if you're okay for me to share this, Subera. So let me know. I'm on auntie duties, BTW. Okay, so my nephew might pop in at any point. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I'll be 2 secs. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Auntie duties. No, that's okay. That's okay, Mina. Thank you for sharing your space with us. I appreciate you. So, Miss Yaz, feel free if you're still in the chat to share your question. I know and you can correct me. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because I think like my mind, I received downloads like last week, I think it was, and everything was kind of like piecing together. Sabira, it like I'm not sure. That's why I was saying I'm not sure if you're open for me to share, but I realized that we have a connection. I didn't even realize that it was you, girl, until like last week. My guys were like, "Oh, I'm a little bit slow sometimes." You would think that I'm like a quick responder, but no. Sometimes I'm a little bit slow. Actually, sometimes I have a little bit of a lapsed reaction. It takes me a minute. What direction is my life going in? Okay. Miss Yaz wants to know about life direction, guys. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. I literally just got the download the other day. I was like, oh snap. So like Miss Yaz on here. Okay. She was like in so I had like an influx of like a soul tribe that aligned with me back in 2018. The waves slowly, gradually sort of like died down, and like a lot of these individuals were sort of like moved out. Seasons and reasons, you know how it works with relationships and stuff. But yeah, we definitely have to. We gotta link up, girl. It's been a minute. Snap. You know how it is. Oh, okay. So life. Where's it sort of like heading? What can you give? Like, come on. What can you give, Sabs, in terms of like insights as far as the direction? Oh, okay. Sorry, I gotta get another deck. Hold on, y'all. they said I need another deck for this. So let me grab the Work Your Light deck, because then they can communicate their stuff. But it is nice to sort of know that we are still in alignment, beautiful, because the tides have moved very, very quickly. Oh, definitely need to link up 100. Beautiful Aries goddess. Well, you would probably... Oh, that's okay. You would actually... Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm only doing 10 today. I've got auntie duties. He's already popped in. So, I get to be able to sort of have the experience. Sorry, my love. Maybe sort of like next week. I'm gonna try and get maybe a couple of lives in, I guess, before I have my surgery as well, so that we can, chop it up. We can chop it up, okay? Come on, guys. Life direction. What do you sort of like see? Okay, it's a whole story. Okay. Okay. So, right. What they're showing me with the situation as far as like what's going on for you with the dynamics of like life. They're showing me that you're kind of like at this point where you are, because they're taking it from there, right? They're kind of like showing me you've already, because we know there's been connections to the deeper realms of existence, but they're sort of showing me at the minute you're kind of like navigating through an initiation about learning how to protect yourself and learning how to strengthen yourself from, I don't want to say like energy leeches, because it's not just a case of people. This is also a case of, because you seem to be like a hypersensitive, right? And when I say like a hypersensitive, I don't mean it in the same sense of like emotional sensitivity. I mean it like energetic sensitivity, right? You're kind of navigating through this recovery period, and they're showing me that you're actually like being guided at the minute to kind of like take a leap. And when I say take a leap, like there's so many things that this initiation period that you're navigating through, because it feels like it's I don't want to say a dark night of the soul, because it feels so cliche, because it feels like a lot of lostness. Do you know what I mean? Like when we're sort of like navigating through a dark night of the soul, it just feels very like lost, being lost out in the abyss, right? But there's so many amazing like gifts and skill sets that you have that are your light in these points of the initiation. And the initiation is almost orchestrated to be able to give you an opportunity to identify which gifts within your cupboards, right? The because you've got loads of different gifts in different cupboards, like which gifts you actually want to be able to take a leap on. They're asking you to sort of like take a leap, not just of faith, but of will, of doing. They're saying of moving, like, so there's too much anxiety in the heart space, right? There's all of these questions, like the anxiety in the heart space, as it's kind of like, you know, it's worked its way up to the crown. It's firing off all of these like thoughts that are kind of like blocking your drive. That's it. It's blocking your will. So it's like causing clouding over like your will to sort of like just do the damn thing, right? Just do it, right? They're saying that it's at this stage of the initiation, you're actually learning about how to protect yourself from within, how to protect yourself from within. And it's a case of making sure as well that your dialogue with yourself is flowing in the direction, because you're not necessarily you're not building your confidence in the dialogue that you're having with yourself internally. A lot of the dialogue in some places, as you're like navigating through this initiation, right? They're saying like, you know, you have a little bit your mind as far as like the default setting of the, how can I put it, your default setting of the subconscious, right? It's like you're kind of learning about how to not necessarily like stand in your own way. Yeah, That's the best way that I can put it. Like they're saying like that's really the thing that they're kind of, that's the thing that, well, give us hell, y'all. How do you see this playing out? Shit. Sorry. How do you guys sort of like see the situation playing out? Because like I get it. Like there's the initiation that's being had at the minute because it's necessary. It's necessary. Listen, I'm gonna say this much to you. Like, if you take this leap of faith, God, the walk that you will be on, I don't even want to say like it's a lifetime journey because that sounds too cliche and shit. But this stuff like sets you into the next life. And what I mean by that, okay, so like a lot of these, anxiety and like depression and all of these like low vibrating spirits, right? So the more you kind of elevate from the anxiety, it frees you up and contracts as well, simultaneously, not just in this life, but also in the way that you're able to navigate moving forward as well. And when I say in this life, because they're saying to me, they're clarifying. They're saying to me like when they're saying like in this life, they're not just meaning like they're not necessarily meaning like another life per se, because there's like many sequences and chapters of our lives that we play out. So they mean your new life within this life. It's setting you up for your new life within this life. If you're able to, because the anxiety, right? Like your heart, there's so many gifts that God's packed into this little heart right here, right? That's how they're saying it to me. And they're saying that as you go into the different compartments and the different sort of like cupboards and chambers, this is a lifelong journey that will really sort of like set you apart from the rest as well. Like that, it's very important that I put that across to you, like set you apart from the rest as well, right? Because your gift isn't the only aspect to this initiation. Every avatar is built with its own design for whatever purpose it's supposed to fulfill, right? Your design specifically, there's more of you guys to come. That's what they're saying to me. Like there's more of you guys to come. Like you break the mold for the next generations of designs that are like you, intuitively speaking. Oh wow, that's big. That's heavy. I don't want to put no pressure on you, girl. This is the thing, right? So first thing that I would say, even in that construct there, because if they're saying like lots of things are going right where they need to be, that when I feel like things are going wrong, and because I have to like you got to be mindful of your words, because the words they construct the reality simultaneously as well, right? And the stuff right now, I know that there's like things that aren't necessarily they're not falling into place in the way that you would like them to. You're not being blocked, you're being protected. You're being protected from being able to like if you manifested some of the things that you want right now, it's not that you're not ready, but are you really prepared? Are you really prepared is what they're saying to me. Like, are you really prepared? Do you know how to be able to do this? And they're showing me like there's still some preparation. There's still some preparation, exactly. There's still some preparation for you to be able to like get to a place where you're all the way past a lot of these protection, because projection's only God's protection. So a lot of the what I don't know how much you pray, how often you pray, what your prayer time with God is like, but when you pray on the situation, you gotta also pray for like releasing of some of these strongholds, releasing of some of these bondages, because you have to understand, because of the purpose that's on your life, there's spirits in places that they want to come and intersect purpose. And again, I want to make it clear, like, they're on a short leash, because nothing living or dead moves unless God says so, right? So they're on a very short leash, but the interception that you're having is really to be able to help you understand your levels of what you can overcome. Girl, holla at me, okay? Holla at me. Because I told you, I literally like, I don't want to call it, because I'm a bit of a wordsmith, okay? So I did some manifestation for a friend, and she was navigating through some like challenges with her housing situation. And I made her a lovely candle with some good intentions and some nice inner workings with God. I worked with my team in spirit to understand what blockages was there, and we removed some stuff. So yeah, definitely get the prayers out there, right? Get the prayers out there. I was literally listening to a sermon the other day, and it was like the guys were really just reminding me, like, sometimes we're holding our prayer, our manifestations up because we're not praying enough. And they're saying that like prayers of manifestation real. It's the real deal. And we kind of have to, like, for the times that we're living in, because words are portal for positive and negative at the minute, and because we have been, I guess, programmed to be more fixed on the negative tangents of stuff, or wording around situations when we're dealing with resistances. It tends to sort of be that. But take a lot of the stuff, because even with the work that I did in sort of like making the candle and stuff like that, like I do prayers and stuff over it to be able to just like really seal the deal and set the intention. Because again, like, if God hasn't willed something, it won't happen. It's that simple, right? But what prayer does is let God know that if he has willed that for us, we're ready to receive. Okay? We are the way ready to receive. But I think I want to say this to you as well. There may be some compromises with the situation that has to take place as far as location. I'm hearing. Because there isn't, you decide exactly, like, area wise where you sort of see yourself, and start mapping it out, because God is doing something with you. And he's ready to position you. You just kind of have to, there's some work. The protection thing is really like the main thing that is kind of holding you back in some ways. The protection thing, like there's certain contracts and cords that needs to be cut. So don't worry, the initiation that you're navigating through right now, you're going to be good to go. As far as like purpose, right? We got to take things in stages. I do believe that once the housing situation is freed up, I'm not going to say the stress path is like clear, but that frees up your energy to be able to focus on manifesting other things as well. Okay. So yeah, put some prayer on it. Firstly, holla at me if you need any extra support. Okay. I'm here for it. And yeah, as far as like what's coming for you, like, yeah, there's plans in heavenly realms over your life. That's the best way that I can sort of like put it and finish it out, because they're showing me like, yeah, designs of your kind are coming. So we'll dive into it. Oh, listen, Shaz is ready. Thank you, Shaz. Shaz is ready. She's like, yeah, I am not going to be waiting too long. All right. I hope that was useful for you, BTW, my love. But yeah, Right. Would love some advice on my journey. There have been some challenges, would like direction, advice, and guidance. Okay. Okay. Whew. This is why I was like trying to get my hair back in too before I even come into this space, y'all, because it is hot in the UK. I don't know where you guys are and how it's going, but yeah, it's hella hot. I can. So yeah, this is how we're finishing up for the night. let me sort my hands out, guys, because now my hands are a little wet. Oh, okay, we're good to go. We'll see what the timing's like. We'll see what the timing's like, Nina. And we'll see what the guides say, because I check in with them. I check in with them to kind of like see, because sometimes like they get off duty as well. We have shift times, because sometimes I want to come off duty, but they're like, I'm still on shift. So we move. But yeah, we'll see where the whole team is at the end of this, and then I'll let you know, beautiful. It is hella hot. Okay, right. Okay, we're going back with the same. Okay, a quick little clean. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Great stuff then. Thank you. Shaws. It is hot but beautiful. You're right about that. Oh my God. You know what? Oh, I was taking a drive to go and like grab my nephew yesterday, and the sun, oh my God, it was like just about at sunset. And there was like this beautiful, like purple, like usually it's pink at dusk and stuff, but it was like this nice purple. And I was like, oh my God, oh man. I was like, I just let that like fill up my heart with like joy. I was like, thank you so much for sharing that like beauty with me. Like that was so beautiful. Like my heart received that in such awe. Like I cried a little bit because I'm like that. I'm sad like that. I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful while I'm driving. Because it really was that beautiful, and I felt like privileged to be able to kind of like just have that moment, like that one like few seconds with the sun as it's kind of like going down. And it was like a really beautiful experience. I was like, oh my God, like thank you so much for just sharing that with me. Right. Shaz, we want to sort of get okay. Okay, chill out. We're gonna clarify. We're gonna dive into some stuff. We wanna as far as the stuff that you're navigating through, I'm gonna like really unpack your stuff, but like just like a quick little thing that is just popped out on the cards. The stuff that you're navigating through, as far as like feeling like you're navigating through, like I want to say like this poverty stricken reality, like this low vibration of a reality that doesn't really reflect who you are. Because I feel like you've done like a lot of inner work and there's been like a lot of internal growth, but it feels almost like your reality hasn't necessarily caught up just yet. But there's victories. There are victories. Oh my days, I'm hearing choir like singing about victory for you. So there's victory coming for you, Shaz. Like victory is coming for you in high places. It's already been written. Okay. It's already been sort of like prophesied about like the victories that are coming for you. But sorry, I just scrolled down into the chat. Where you're at right now in terms of like feeling stuck and being bored, like it just feels boring at this point. It feels boring, kind of like navigating through some of these tensions, because it feels like you've already outlived this. Why does it sort of like keep moving in this like chaotic, abstract. And this is how it sort of like looks in the universe, right? I'm just seeing it like just random. It just feels like just random moving parts, like nothing's like really coming together. You will be victorious over that. That's not a worry or concern. I'm gonna dive into really dissecting guidance, like, because yeah, it seems like this whole process that you're going through as well, it's building, it's to help to build your confidence. And I know it seems like, how the hell is this supposed to build my confidence, when if anything it feels like it's tearing my confidence down? Well, it's taking you up another level. It's taking your confidence meter up another level. And so a part of your, like, your current confidence level is being torn down, yes, because you're now elevating, you're being pushed to elevate your confidence to another level of itself, right? And it requires learning how to sort of deal with time management, how to prioritize, how to adapt and juggle and balance everything. And that's really the gag is, right? The gag is, you don't know your strength. And this is how, like, I have to put it across to you, because your strength is almost being utilized as a weakness in the dynamics that you're like moving through at the minute. And when I say your strength, it's because you feel like a little bit burnt out at the minute, because it feels like there's a lack of progress in certain areas. Understandably, right? But those are the areas that you need to be putting your energy in, right? So this is how the universe sort of like works, because we're constantly manifesting a lot of things a lot of the time. So sometimes, like, some of our energy needs to be placed in certain parts of what we're manifesting more so than others. We almost have to get like a little bit obsessive about it, just to kind of like focus our energy in and like get into tunnel vision, because it speeds up the manifesting of it. There's still a lot of indecision that's kind of like going on in your dome about some of these things that you feel like are challenges. The challenges that you are a challenge in creating challenges for yourself. I hope I said that right. Thank you, guys. So what do I mean by that? Like, the things that you feel like it should just be happening right now, you're not necessarily, how can I put it? You're not delegating. That's it. You're not delegating. You're not delegating enough to the universe about, it's just kind of like, you feel it here, you know, you want it here, you've got it up here, but in here has to project and it has to reflect for the whole picture to sort of come into sort of like manifestation. So what they're saying is that you kind of need to, because everything is a little bit overwhelming and it's causing like a lot of pressure. I want to say it's causing like some anxiety. You kind of want to take a step back, right? You kind of want to take a step back so that you can look at the whole picture. So I can, because you asked for guidance. So, okay, so they're showing me like, this is where we are with the guidance now. So on the guidance on the situation, you want to take a step back and look and see what are some of the things that have been stagnant in a while, right? The things that you're dealing with, the most challenges in those situations, reality is that may be an unlikely heir. So the stars may not have aligned for the manifestation of those things just yet. If it's something that still rings and resonate in your heart, right? Because this is how you're going to be able to like deal with all of these abstract pieces that are still waiting to ground. If it still feels real and resonates in your heart, it's still something that you need to focus on and put energy into, but you've got to work at it in a different way, in a different construct to what you've been doing, because your intentions alone is not enough to manifest this thing, right? Why it's not enough to manifest this thing? Because when we're manifesting from all of these different laws. And I feel like, although the law of attraction is in your favor in some of these things, the law of repulsion is also working against you. So you have a lot of subconscious fears about some of these things and actually acquiring some of these things that you want. So what I would suggest that you do right? What I would recommend that you do, have a look on the future timeline of some of these things that you're trying to manifest so that you can get a clear picture, right? So that you can get a clear picture. Tune into here, because future self already has all the answers for like present self. Like, I can't tell you how often I go to her because present self does not know what she's doing sometimes. Okay. So tune into here and really kind of focus on some of the setbacks to your ideas. Understand where those setbacks are occurring from. Like, really get a perspective of where some of those setbacks are coming from. And once you get some clarity on where some of those setbacks are coming from, do your work. And when I say do your work in spirit, right? Because that's where a lot of these things are being blocked first and foremost. They're being blocked in the spiritual realm, which is why it's struggling to get down into the 3D, right? What you want to do is when you identify, because again, indecision, it's like so many different choices. That seems to be one of the main factors. You may be a little bit confused about some of the things that you're actually trying to ground, and that's causing delays as well on some of these situations. You might think that you're clear, but honestly, because I want to say that you might think that you're clear, and why I say that is because you feel like you just kind of want to be over certain things, but you're not really clear about where you want to be as far as like getting over it, get past it. And what does past it look like? How do you get there? All of these little pieces and factors to the situation still have to be clarified. That still has to be made clear in spirit. Then once you're clear about what it is that you want to do, don't worry about the how. The when isn't your, like, the how is for the guides. That's their job. The when, that's God's job. Okay. Like, this is what I tell people all the time, because we get so involved in the manifesting. We stand against ourselves in a lot of different ways, whereby we're trying to do more than what we need to do in the situation, right? Your job is simply to just clearly decide what it is that you want. You have the gift of free will as a human, and that's one of your most powerful strengths, right? In doing that work where you can make the decisions about some of the things that you're still a little bit confused about, then it starts to move things along in a particular direction, right? In a particular direction. For the stuff that still resonates in your heart, write down, like, script it. Now, our script is one script, and then we got God's script, okay? Ultimately, God's script, he's the whole director and everything. So his script is obviously what's going to come to fruition. But what happens is that your script gives God a little bit of a blueprint to work with, as far as, him being able to identify, because God can see what's going on internally. He's not just seeing like the external of what's taking place. So he's going to be able to look and say, you're still working on this internally, so I don't necessarily think that that's the best route for you to sort of like go with that situation. So we're going to detour here, but the aim is to still get you back to this destination over here. And in the meantime, it gives you the ability to develop patience. It gives you an ability to be able to develop the skill of delegating, and all of these different like personality traits that we want to be able to like strengthen us for when we get to the destination. Because then God, like, once we get to the destination, God has new plans for us, right? That part. So it's a whole process for that part of the situation. But yeah, like, you'll be victorious over the stuff that you're navigating through. The feeling stuck right now, the only thing that's stuck is just the options. The options aren't necessarily being like selected completely wisely. And when I say wisely, I mean the options aren't necessarily being well thought out to a point where like the timeline in itself is clear, if that makes sense. Like, the timeline is still like a little bit hazy. It's not all the way clear. So it's a little bit of a challenge for it to sort of like ground. But work on some of those things. I don't even remember like half the stuff that I said. But yeah, to sort of like reiterate, take a step back, have a look and see what are some of the things that are most stagnant for you, the stuff that are the most stuck. Tune into some of those things within your heart space. See how your heart like really resonates with it. If it's still like at the top of your heart, then those are some of the things that you still need to be working on right now. Because sometimes there's things that we don't need to be working on right now because they're not as important. They might be urgent to us, but they're not important. So God works on all of these different scales and like meters of stuff. Like it might be important but not urgent, urgent but not important. So he just kind of like works. What's important is always going to be the thing that moves first. So yeah, you're just kind of like gaining control of your ability to like be stable as you navigate through some of these challenges, because I think what keeps happening is that as some of these challenges come in, you actually forget who you are and you forget what you're doing, what your strengths are, and you kind of like surrender before you've like properly given like a good fight. That's how they're showing me, right? So yeah, take a step back, do all of that stuff that I said. And then once you've made the decisions on certain things, let the guides know what you need them to do. Let God know that you're open to his timing because it is always impeccably perfect. And let the rest just kind of like work its way into your existence. Beautiful. That's it. That's all. I hope that was useful for you. But yes, that's what I like to see, y'all. Everybody's like, you know, on job quickly. Okay. Smaragdina. That's okay. That's okay, Shaz. That's okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. I'm glad that it was helpful. Glad that it was useful. Beautiful. Smaragdina wants to know. Okay, V, how does V feel about them? Okay, that was quick. It's just sat on their heart, is it? Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, beautiful. I appreciate you for just coming and sharing your energy with us. Okay. 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 Sorry. I was seeing the story. I can't help how I like react, guys. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So, what I'm seeing as far as their feelings with the situation, I don't know. They're showing me that there's some level of deception, and even as I like said it, like throat chakra started to get like, whew. There's some level of so there's things that they're not saying, there's things that they're sort of like keeping back. I'm just going to come straight out and say that, but they're actually like going through this renewal, I guess. They're going through this renewal. They're kind of like, they feel as though there isn't really much success for them to be able to kind of be happy, I guess, entirely about the situation, but they're hopeful. They're hopeful. From what I can see in the space, it seems as though, and I'm going to clarify this from you guys, just so that I have an understanding, because it feels like, yeah, okay. Yeah. What I'm seeing with the situation, right? I don't want to ask if there's like a third party per se, because I don't know that it's like a romantic interest as such. But it just seems like someone or something that seems like a little bit of a barrier I guess, to the situation. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for confirming. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, thank you. Because it didn't really feel like solid, but it felt like a thing. So thank you. And I'm not saying that the relationship's not solid. It's just it hasn't, like, even in like the 5D and whatever else dimensions there are before it grounds down here, even up there, it's not like fully respected like that just yet. It's like fully having like a solid foundation as such. But he's kind of getting away with like affecting that space. Mm, he does feel like there's a soulmate connection here. um and I want to say this right, because it's such a challenge. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get rid of the cushion too, man. I am burning up, y'all. I'm like, damn, my back is hot. Yeah. So with the situation, right? This 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 soulmate dynamic, when like how I'm feeling the space, right? It's almost like this is a place where they can actually like be themselves. And when I say be themselves, I mean take off some of their masks, but instead they choose to like make this whole situation so much more complicated. He does feel like you're a soulmate connection, but at the same time, he's just trying to get away with, like, you know, the fact that there isn't really much of a long-term sort of vision for the dynamics with you guys. Like, if there's any sort of communication, it's not really going to go anywhere. No, I think you're the soulmate connection, and I have to say the soulmate connection, because it feels like they're still kind of clearing you out of their hard drive, for lack of a better way of putting it. Yeah, I see. This girl is the opposite. Yeah, of me. Yeah, it's yeah. I think that they're not. I don't know why people do this to themselves, man. I don't feel like he's necessarily happy, but I think aesthetically it looks good. That's the best way that I can put it. I feel like this is more of a like aesthetic sort of situation with this person. Because even up there, I don't feel like they respect it like that. Do you guys respect it? Like, I'm sorry, I have to ask. I have to ask. Like, is it respected? Because I'm not getting that vibe. I'm not getting that kind of energy at all. Okay, it's still growing. Okay, it's still growing. Okay. What's happening in the next few months on the situation? Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, because I feel like even y'all don't respect it yet. Sorry. And I do. I feel like even in spirit, it's not really. And this is what happens a lot of the times, right? We kind of like get into these relationships and stuff, and then like they don't respect us, even the demons, okay? Like the low vibrating entities, they don't respect our shit either. So they test and challenge it to see, you know, what's the boundaries here? Like they're like, look at it, look at it. This would be like how flimsy it is, by the way. This is like a reference to like this being a string. Okay. That's what like some of the dynamics are like. But I think from what I can see on the cards, from what they're saying, with this situation, like cut your losses. I'm not gonna lie. Just cut your losses. They're saying soulmate connection, because they're able to actually like I said, be themselves, but there's consequences for everything. And if they're not willing to pay the price for the consequence of being able to actually like live in their authenticity, that price has to be paid. Okay. I don't know, like I said, what your I don't know what your tolerance level is. But it seems like that person, like the other person, they're not necessarily looking to go away straight away. They seem to be like enjoying developing the situation and seeing what could come from it. So they're still kind of like, onward, Christian soldiers. Sorry, that's literally how I'm hearing it in my mind. Like they're still marching towards that mountain, right? You guys are funny tonight, man. Yeah, they're still marching towards the mountain, like this mountain of like all of these plans that they have in their mind and the potential that they see for the relationship and everything. So they're kind of navigating from that place. So they're not necessarily looking to kind of like go anywhere for like the next, I want to say 3 to 4, maybe 4.5 months. I want to say by around about like the 5th month, like 5 months and 3 days, I guess. Like there's some sort of like mental clarity and breakthrough that happens. But until then, like they just looking to try and get away with as much as they can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is why I said like it doesn't really seem like like it just feels like a little bit of a trophy thing. So thank you for confirming. They're shallow and surface as hell. Like you're not missing much. I'm sorry. I was like, I was like trying to, you know, keep my whole like character together and stuff. But you're really not missing much. Like, let them have this. Like, this is the consequence. Like, if he wants to go and like pretend to be this guy that he's not because he wants some likes and views, like, let him have it. It's fine. In about 4 months or so, he wakes up from whatever like social projections he's under and he becomes aware of himself, and then he's gonna have to deal with the consequences. Okay, that part. Okay, you can donate, my love. You can donate to be added to the donation list. Thank you for stopping into the room, BTW. Thank you, Smur. Listen, like with that whole situation, that investment, like, it's really not that good of an investment. I'm just gonna keep it like 100 with you. Like, yeah, they're like living here at the minute, and you want some depth. Like they're not really willing to like dive as deep right now. They want to stay on the surface and coast for a little bit. So let them coast. SP, are you with us? SP, listen. SP said, I ain't missing my go. I'm here. Thank you, SP. That's how you get it done. Right. Yeah. No, don't worry. I know that there's like a backlog with you guys. Exactly, Gypsy. SP's like, I is right here. Will my eldest son perform better overall and have a brighter future in educational career? Okay, let's have a look. The eldest son. We want to have a look and see. Oh, he has some challenges. I'm gonna say that first and foremost. Okay. SB really was, Gypsy. SB really was. SB's like, I is right here, man. Okay. Talk to me about the eldest for SP. SP wants to kind of like, we want to gain some perspective. performance wise? What do you see in terms of like, okay. Oh, there's a lot. Okay. Thank y'all. Okay. Let me just receive it and like really put it all into perspective. Okay. Okay. So from what I can see with the situation, bear with me, y'all. Sorry, he's going ham on Roblox. Right, so what I'm seeing with the situation is that it does get better. Dang, I need my fan, y'all. If I put the fan on, then you guys are gonna hear like a lot of effects back. But I is struggling. So we're gonna finish up like this, right? So what I'm seeing with the situation is that things does get a little bit better. I think like right now, they're really they're not necessarily happy with the way that things are within themselves as well, though. Like they feel like it's kind of like affecting their confidence a little bit. So maybe you might want to like work at helping them build their confidence in other ways so that they can channel that confidence into that area as well. Because from what I can see, like some of this stuff is a challenge for them. Their mind works a particular way to be able to kind of like formulate information, like put, obviously it's information, right? The way that their mind constructs the information is a little different, right? So you want to help them to be able to kind of like build their confidence. Yeah. So you want to help them to be able to sort of like build their confidence. He is 16.5 and was distracted with friends, video games, etc. But I feel he is coming to focus now. But I really hope things will go well for him. Yeah, I think that he's got his own disappointments because I think that he feels as though like he didn't necessarily like allow for his strengths and I think that you might want to have like he is very smart and intelligent, but yes, this is it, right? He is like very intelligent. His strengths are being used as weaknesses because that's not the way that his mind works. So they're almost like the way that they give the information and stuff is almost using his mind against him. And that's what's causing him to almost like how he dealt with that before was quitting so he didn't have to fail type thing, if that makes sense, or like not necessarily giving as much effort so the disappointment wouldn't hit as hard type thing, right? But things does get a little bit better. He is, I'd say, work with him to help him understand like how his mind works, right? Because this is where he's going to be able to kind of like build his confidence in knowing that it's okay to be different. It's just a case of learning how to apply that different sort of mental design and construct, how to apply it and how to adapt it, right? Like if he's able to get confident in his ability on how to adapt his, like, I want to call it strange mind. It's not so strange. It's just that it has a tendency to like it goes into like these strange universes of thoughts. Like these thoughts are like very much out there, right? They're very much out there as far as these thoughts. They have like a real natural sense of curiosity. So like focus on those aspects of it. Like focus on helping them to sort of like feed their curiosity and figuring out how their curiosity is fed and how they're able to sort of like dissect the information when it comes in. Because yeah, I think if they build their confidence with the situation, which I think they're working on now because they do feel like they could have done better in just navigating the situation. I think that they feel like, in the past, they didn't necessarily have like a good balance in their life. And those are some of the things that they regret. And moving forward, they're not really trying to do things like that moving forward. They're kind of trying to be a little bit more methodical, and they're trying to be a little bit more emotionally aware, because I think that they didn't realize how big. Yeah. I don't think he realizes how big it was going to hit him at the time until it did hit him. And now he's kind of like, okay, I've got to like buck up and like get myself together and kind of like start prioritizing effectively. But things get better. Like he gets better with the situation. I feel like he gets to like this place where he feels confident, he's solid in what he's kind of like, doing and sure of himself, and prosperity is his. Prosperity is his. That's how they're saying it to me. Yeah. See, this is the thing as well, right? When he learns how to balance that, he'll be able to have like a better, because that clouds as well, like it goes whoosh, like he goes with the tides of the emotion, and then his mind like plays catch up almost. It's a little bit of a delayed process with his mind at those points. So he has to be able to help him, because he's definitely, that's going to be crucial for him getting into adulthood, learning how to manage that and learning how to like apply the different gears like with his emotions, like help him to, because it's not a bad thing, it's good, it means that he's deeply connected to himself, but he needs to learn how to be able to apply logic and rationale to some of those emotions as well as they're sort of like moving, right? So help him on that part. Don't preach to him, he doesn't like that. I'm sure you know that. But I'm putting that because they've just like, they're like sidebar. It can't be from like a preaching sort of like dynamic, because he won't receive it. It has to be from like a friend place. Like you have to help him as a friend, because you see he's going through a challenge, and you might have some insight to help him be able to navigate through it. Like if you approach it like that, then he's a lot more receptive, and he might actually be able to take on board your advice rather than coming. Exactly. Exactly. He don't want no preaching. He doesn't want any preaching, but like taking like advice from a friend, like he's down for that. He can receive that. Okay. Oh, thank you, SB, for actually sort of like sharing with us. Kids these days, right? He's like, no preaching. It's so funny. But I think like he's actually like, he's kind of mature, in ways. He's kind of mature in ways. So I think that's why you kind of have to like approach the situation like tactfully. Okay, y'all. Oh, that's so nice, Mina. Oh, that's okay, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see who we got. Gypsy, I think, has put her. Yeah. That's precisely it. He's very mature. That's why he doesn't like the preaching thing, right? Because he's like, look, like I'm a whole adult out here. Like I'm adulting. But if you like just talk to him like you're on his level, like take him up to adult level because that's how he wants to be treated. Talk to him like an adult and he'll receive it a little bit better and he'll be able to kind of like, you know, like if you have a conversation like, oh, well, this one time when I was dealing with like this particular situation, it was similar to something that you're navigating through here. And I feel like this is kind of like how I navigated through it. So like, you know, if you ever find yourself in that situation, that's how I dealt with it. It worked for me. You might have a different approach, but I just thought I'd let you know, kind of like that. Because when you force it, you just don't receive it. He doesn't. If you give it like an option, then he'll be more open to receiving. Okay. Leo's feelings towards Gypsy, y'all. Okay, we're going to go to the romance part. Okay. Yeah, try. It will help. Oh, dude. It will help him to be a little bit more receptive. Okay. Oh, we almost to the end of the list already. Look at that. Leo's feelings towards Gypsy. What can you tell us, guys? What can you see? Okay. Ew. Okay. Oh, snap. That's their feelings, Gypsy. Sorry, I'm going to clarify. I think that they definitely sort of see a future with you. That's for sure. I think it's just I want to dissect it and really unpack it and see what's taking place with it. Okay, so I can't with you. What I'm seeing with the situation as far as like their feelings, it feels like I feel like they're finally at a place where they're like ready to accept, maybe. And I have to say accept because I feel like although they've wanted it maybe for a minute, they've been resistant. They've been resistant. I want to say resistant. Is it resistant, guys? Yeah, the confusion's been causing resistance. Okay. Well, their feelings towards you is that they do feel like they can actually sort of accept this security and this renewal of the dynamics that you guys are navigating through. Are there any children involved in the situation? Answer me that question so I can get an understanding because they're saying something to me. I want to unpack it. Kids? Yay, no? Okay. Well, they want someone. They see the potential of merging families together. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna sort of like clarify because their feelings is very sort of like direct on the situation. Okay. And what's the advice? Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Hi, John. Unfortunately, the free list is closed, my love. Yeah, I'm about to I'm supposed to be finished 4 minutes ago. But yeah, we've got like 3 more people to go on the list, and then we're shutting up shop for the night. Sorry. Catch us next week. We'll be live on Friday, I think. Oh, I'm gonna come back to y'all about Friday because it may have to be Saturday again. My Fridays are getting occupied at the minute with family dynamics. There's a lot going on, and we all got to play our part. But what they're saying to me, as far as like their feelings on the situation, like I feel like they're finally sort of like ready to be able to kind of like accept you guys being able to come together. I think that they see a future with you. I think that they want a future with you. I think that they yearn for a future with you. There's just been like some real significant things that needed to happen to like really give this full-on breakthrough, this full-on like clarity about where they want to sort of like take things with you, and figuring out how to kind of like prioritize that so that they can actually like make it happen. Okay. They're also saying that there's some forgiveness that has to sort of like occur with the situation as well. So I'm not sure what angle that's coming from. I'm not sure if it's you that need to kind of like forgive them, or them that might need to forgive, or somebody else that might need to forgive them for choices that are made when you guys sort of like come together. But they're showing me that, you're kind of like ready, and they're ready, and they feel like you're ready as well, to be able to kind of like go through this whole renewal. There seems to be some sort of like defense mechanism. I don't know who's kind of like protecting themselves. Somebody might still be a little bit guarded. So this is where like the renewal of spirit is sort of like coming in. Yeah. 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 Probably both. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, they have that desire. They have that desire for you guys to be able to kind of figure things out. They have the desire for you guys to kind of figure things out. I think they're just kind of trying to be practical about the situation as well. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're trying to be practical about the situation as well. I think that they can't be impulsive. Um, yeah. I think that they have to be able to kind of like make a rational decision about the situation, and not just kind of like, go full steam ahead like they have done previously, because they're still kind of dealing with the depression of some of those decisions that were made impulsively, when they hadn't fully like decided what they were doing or how they were going to go about things. So yeah, that's how they're feeling. That's how they're feeling. Hopeful is what I'd say. Hopeful about the possibility of being able to sort of realign and move to a new direction, like up another level. Whew. That's it. They're not really giving me anything else on it. Any final? Okay. Okay. The situation's kind of like improving, I guess. That's what they're sort of putting across. There's certain compromises that has to be made. So yeah. Yeah. Yes, Deidre. Look at the chat just getting ready. Look at y'all. You guys are on job tonight. I hope that was useful for you. by the way, Gypsy. It's complicated is how I'm sensing it. It is complicated, but there's a desire there. I think that there's just still a few more things, I guess, that needs to be made clear to them, for them to be able to kind of like leap, because there still seems to be like things seems to be a little bit guarded on. Yeah. Deidre. Yes, I see. Deidre is like ready. Deidre's ready. Okay. I hope that that was useful for you, Gypsy. We're gonna dive in. Okay, they're asking me to claim the cards. Claim the cards. Okay. Awesome. All right. Yes, Deidre. I appreciate you. Okay. Francesco. What's Francesco's current feelings? What's Francesco's current feelings towards Deidre? Ew. Sorry. Sometimes I don't hear myself until after the facts. Okay. So as far as his feelings, what I'm seeing is that he's definitely a charmer. Okay, he's feeling pretty charming at the minute, like definitely feeling like romanticizing and just kind of, I don't want to say love bombing, but definitely like pouring out like the compliments and the niceties and just really trying to kind of like give you full on charm and charismatic personality vibe and mode, right? Um, and at the same time, they're kind of like reserved as well. They're kind of like, I don't know, they're almost restricted. They're almost restricted. Are you guys having open communication and dialogue? This is for you, Deidre. Are you guys having open communication and dialogue? Clarify. Thank you. Oh, well, while we wait for you to confirm, yeah, because I'm seeing restrictions. He has a desire to be able to kind of like romanticize. I think that he's not necessarily, let me see his feelings on his thoughts on the situation, because I'm seeing that like did you guys have a disagreement? Okay. Like a difference in opinion, a heated debate. Okay. Well, what's it? Hold on. Francesco's in the friend zone, but he would like, yeah. Oh. We're going on to his thoughts to have a look and see what his thoughts are on the situation. Bless you, handsome. Sorry, that wasn't for y'all. That was one of you. Okay. Let me just download his thoughts on the situation? So from what I can see at the minute, like their thought focus is more so to do with like their family dynamics and situations and circumstances that they've got kind of like going on there, because that seems to be taking a lot of their time and attention. He never expresses feelings. He is on and off communication. Yeah, get that vibe. I get that vibe. It seems as though like he's kind of like emotionally like blocked at the minute as well. He's kind of like focusing on these family dynamic situations over here. And I feel like he's kind of like internalizing a lot of those ruptures. And I have to call them ruptures because it feels like they're like pulling pieces of his soul apart and tugging like pieces of his soul apart. Like a lot of these things that he's carrying, I don't know if he's aware, because it seems like he has a very high tolerance for this level of like emotional toxicity. That's the best way that I can put it. But it seems like, you know, he's a little bit on edge with him like being emotionally like, you know, with him being emotionally repressed. He's kind of a little bit defensive, and he's hesitant to communicate, and he's hesitant to sort of like reach out. He's in the friend zone, but I'm not all the way certain that he wants to be there. I think that he can't necessarily give anything more because he's not in a position himself, like time wise, to be able to kind of like do or be anything else, because the expectations like are different in a romantic situation than in a friendship dynamic, right? But yeah, I think he would like to be more than friends, low key. But there's a lot of other factors that are like taking his attention right now, so he's not really focused on even putting any energy or effort into the friendship right now per se. He's a little bit resistant and not resistant, hesitant to be able to sort of come. Yeah. I can see and get and completely understand that. But yeah, I feel like he doesn't really seem worried about it though. He's actually like pretty chilled about it as far as like his situation. Yeah, he'll just come back in his usual charming, charismatic self, and all's forgiven. It's not really that big of a deal, I guess, is how he kind of sees the situation for the most part. Okay. I hope that that was useful for you, love. They're like, they're making it quick. I'm only supposed to be here for like a good couple of hours today, guys. But I really do hope that that was useful for you, my love, because they literally just kind of like cut me off there. And that was like the end of that. But yeah, I hope that that really was useful for you. Mara. Thank you, Mara. Look at you. I appreciate you. I hope that that was useful for you, Deidre. Yeah. Yeah, I get that vibe too. The family situation's like his main focus, like I said. So that's just where his energy is like really focused. But yeah, it's all good. It's nothing personal. Right. Mara. Oh, let's have a little look. Mara wants to know what you see for her and the Scorpio lover. How do you see things playing out? How do you see things playing out for Mara and Paul? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hmm. I had to ask the question, how do I see things playing out, as opposed to like that's a closed question. They tend to give you more information if you answer like an open-ended question to begin with, and then you can answer sort of like, you can ask direct questions, because sometimes they give you a whole story and you just get lost. So forgive me if you feel like I didn't sort of like put the question in the way that you put it on screen. It's just that question, it's too, yeah, it's too compact. Hey Bobby, don't worry, we're coming to you next. So yeah, so what I'm seeing with the situation, yeah, clarify. They're showing me that you guys are kind of like navigating through this like rite of passage transition that needs to happen in terms of the romance at the minute. Reason being is because like this loneliness, or this wound of loneliness, this perception or wound of loneliness, is to be able to help heal some of the core self-worth, I don't want to say issues. What I do want to call it is it's kind of like magnifying where one could really elevate their perception of their self-worth. So that's the whole like point, I guess, or process of this perceived loneliness that you guys are navigating through at the minute. What's the outcome for them? And navigate. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And what does that mean in its context? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it's not entirely over just yet. They do feel like this is like a true love connection, which means that you guys genuinely love each other, and technically it's actually an unconditional love, but there's like all these perceptions of, oh, I only love you if this, or I can only give you my love if that. Like we kind of like make up these limitations based on our need and desire for control. But the reality is you guys would actually love each other in spite of those needs or expectations being met or not. So that's what they mean when they're sort of like breaking down the construct of this true love dynamic. The love is very honest, the love is unconditional, and it's very open, it's very raw, right? So what they're showing is that you guys are sort of like getting to know each other on other layers of yourselves. You guys are getting to really understand yourselves individually within the relationship dynamic as well, because I think for both of you guys, you're kind of learning about your ability to be resilient in your times of separation, your ability to be able to kind of like be contemplative, and really just take that time to rest, because although you guys love each other, there's still a lot of toxicity. Communication is not the best. You guys don't communicate in the best way. I don't know how well you guys receive each other. Sometimes when you guys are dealing with like heated debates where there's like differences in opinions, it gets really challenging for you guys to be able to do that dance back and forth. It's like a little bit of, I don't want to say clash of the egos a little bit, but sometimes it's like one person is spending so much time trying to get the other person to like really see their perspective, but they're not taking the time to see that person's perspective, to like give them an example, to cue them. Like monkey see, monkey do, right? So people are always naturally going to act like action your actions. If you want to be able to like get someone to be like receptive and open to you, you first have to execute that very same act. And sometimes it may take them a few cues to actually like mirror your behavior. But even by like being able to say, you know, well, I'm doing this because I don't feel like I'm getting it. Like, I'm choosing to listen to you because I genuinely want to hear what you've got to say, and I genuinely want you to hear what I've got to say. And in order for us to be able to like really do that, I need you to talk to me instead of talking at me, because you're creating a lot of noise, and I'm not able to receive your words in the way that you're intending for those words to land. Do you see what I'm saying? That shifts the dynamic and the perspective on the conversation that's being had, where you guys aren't so defensive in your like wordplay, because the wordplay is very defensive. And I feel like that's probably one of the things that affects you guys a lot, because like you guys will avoid conflict because of that. And then you guys don't actually sort out the issues that needs to be resolved. And those issues are like, they're the same things that keeps coming back up and keeps like, you know, surfacing for you guys to basically resolve and discuss and sort out, pretty much. So no, it's not the end, but you guys are still getting to know yourselves and each other in the dynamic that you guys are navigating through. Okay, determination's everything. So yeah, figure out how to be able to compromise as well, because that's one of the things that you guys are also struggling in that class as well. Compromises. Okay, it may be at an imbalance within the relationship. One person may be compromising more than the other, and perhaps none of you guys are compromising at all. Okay, so work on communication, work on compromising when you sort of get back into the space. Really just kind of make sure that you're in a place where you're speaking what you mean to say, rather than speaking just what you feel, because a feeling is only a half truth. It's only a narrative built around how we are reacting to our experience. Now, if you can speak from what you really mean to say, you can actually tell the story of the feelings, honor that feeling, and also elaborate on that to give that person an opportunity to be able to really like get an overview of where you're coming from. Okay, hope that that was useful. Oh, what energetic burdens am I carrying? That's intense, baby. Let's have a little look. Oh, thank you. Okay. Sorry, I'm receiving the clarity. Okay. So what I'm seeing with the situation, they're saying like a lot of the, sorry, I'm like trying to find what, because they're showing me like there's a lot of confusion, actually. There's a lot of confusion, which is probably one of the like biggest burdens that you're carrying. The confusion about certain things that have been unsatisfying, about possible reunions or possible reconnections as well. Yeah. So what they're showing me as far as like the energetic burdens that you're carrying here, Bobby, is that you're still navigating through some dissatisfaction. It seems like you're kind of because you're wanting to be able to kind of like move forward, right? I'm seeing at least 3 different situations, and I'm like, I'm seeing there's like I don't know if it's a friendship or a colleague situation or dynamic, but that seems to be something that's still in your energy field. Like it seems to be like there was some type of I don't want to call it disagreement because it doesn't feel like an actual disagreement. It feels more sort of like something that's sensed. It's almost like you guys, I don't want to say don't like each other, but I feel like you guys' spirit don't necessarily like gel well with each other for some reason. And that situation is still, I guess, with you from what I can see. That situation is, I wouldn't say it's kind of like causing setbacks, but if and you can shed some light as well, Bobby, and clarify, and if I'm going off track, bring me back in focus. But they're showing me like with the situation, like what's your current work situation or career status at the minute? Because they're showing me that there may be some opportunity, to come that's actually like connected to this burden that's still being carried, or this situation. It's hazy. It's hazy. What I'm going to say is that there's a financial situation coming your way, provided that you're able to let yourself, because how they're putting it to me is that sometimes you have a tendency to overthink things sometimes. So they're like, it's all about, with this particular situation, it's all about being at the right place at the right time. So there's, I guess, going to be I am. And it's very scattered. It's very scattered, Bobby. Your stuff seems to be very abstract from what I'm seeing and sensing up there. Because they're showing me that there's three cords, there's three threads of things that you may still be connected to or carrying. That's why I was asking as well, what's your career situation? What's your work dynamic at the minute? Because they're showing me that there may be something to do with a friend or colleague situation that is actually going to be able to bring you a financial windfall, is how I can put it. It's going to bring you a financial windfall. But you have to not be like so in your head about it. You have to not be so in your head about it. What do you guys mean? Sorry. I'm like, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. I'm sending you some positive energy. I'm definitely sending you some positive energy. Okay. I don't know particularly who. This is why I'm asking, because it's like they're showing me, right? Like there's three particular people. There are three particular people that are holding up this financial windfall. So I don't it may be a progression, because they're showing me a financial windfall of inheritance of finances. So they're speaking to me about three particular people. Okay, three particular people. They're saying you know who they are. They're saying you know who they are. I know that you're saying that, you know, a lot of people there don't like you, but there are three particular people where you know that your energy and their energy just are not connecting. It's just not connecting. And you guys are on two completely different planes of existence, spiritually and vibrationally speaking. You guys are vibrating on different frequency and resonance, right? those three people, disconnect them. Because what I'm seeing, Bobby, is that like their projections, right? Their negativity is causing delays for your financial windfall, is causing delays for your see that, because you're listen, you're going to get like promotion. Pray on it. Like, I really can't even, like, I've been really putting out like about prayer today, because really the guys, this is how they answer our goals, right? This is how we set goals for them, and this is how they know what to do, basically. So when we talk to God, they get on job. Okay. So yeah, like really have a moment. If you don't pray, meditate. Okay. Meditation's only visual prayers. It's all the same thing. God receives it all. It all goes to the same place, to source, right? Really sit and disconnect their energy, because their energy that is on and around you is causing some delays to what is rightfully yours. And I have to say that it's rightfully yours because they're almost kind of like blocking you, and they don't necessarily want it for you because they just don't like you. I don't know how else to put it. I just feel like your energies just don't mesh. Your energies don't mesh. There's three of them, though. There's three particular ones. There's other ones, their energy isn't really penetrating you because you're vibrating on a frequency where they can't really get up there to kind of like really penetrate your field or anything. But there's three particular ones, you know, because they like when you're around them, your energy gets tight, your space feels closed, and your energy comes in. I know. I think it's just your thing. I think it's just your energy. You come in with that big energy. I don't know, Bobby, because I can tell, like, you're not bothering anyone. They just don't like you. And the only way that I can put it is I think that it's actually just down to your presence. Like, your presence, you know, sometimes, like, when you're vibrating on a certain frequency, like, your presence irritates certain people's demons. Like, it's just one of those types of situations. I feel like you're vibrating at a frequency that really just irritates certain people's demons. And it's nothing to do with you, everything to do with like a them problem, but they're still projecting it. And some of those projections have landed, I guess, within your field. So you kind of need to disconnect from that to be able to like get your financial windfall. And it's coming because they could only hold you back for so long. Tune in and really like see who your energy like really responds to in like a really negative way, right? And just disconnect from their energy. It would be good to be able to kind of like meditations, like where you're able to do the work, and if you can like double that up with meditation and prayer, you're winning. Okay, because then you're working on your energetic field, and then you're using prayer to be able to work with the ethereal energetic field as well, to be able to kind of like think, yeah, listen, your spirit's trying to tell you something. Their spirit's trying to tell them something, that a person of a certain vibration is in the stratosphere, and vice versa for you. You're kind of like, you know, your receptors, your senses are picking up on their low vibrating forces and entities as well. It's just a thing. It's a thing. We speak about these things. We speak on an energetic level as well. So I feel like your frequency is rattling a few of their demons, and they don't really know how to deal with it because they actually have their own insecurities, but they're so used to actually like playing like they've got their shit together that they're not all the way clear, that they're just projecting these things. They're just projecting. I don't think they even know why they don't like you, to be fair. The only thing that they could really be able to say is, I just don't like him. they really don't have anything to say because it's really more or less like a personal issue, like I said. But those are some of the things that you are unknowingly carrying energetically, because it's actually causing delays in your own field as well. Disconnect them. There's 3 particular ones that they're haterade, okay? Their hateration, it's being able to kind of like connect as high up as you're vibrating. So they may have certain parts of their character traits that may be vibrating at like similar frequencies to some of your sort of like frequencies. It might be like obviously in different ways for different things. So that's probably like, I guess why. But yeah, just disconnect them, and you'll be able to kind of like open up the floor for this financial windfall that's coming. Shit, who knows? You might even be able to take your supervisor's job. Okay, God works mysteriously like that too. Okay, but yeah, work on just like freeing up your energy field, and just disconnecting them, and things start to flow in. Like genuinely, it starts to flow in. Okay. But that is everyone, guys. I hope that that was useful for you, Bobby, because they just dive straight into it. They dive straight into it. They knew what was going on in the space and what is to come, I guess, for that space. So hopefully everything kind of turns around quickly. I don't have Cash App. No, people keep asking as well. I probably should get a Cash App. My PayPal's in the description, I guess. That's the best I can do. I'll probably think about getting Cash App together, because you're not the first to sort of ask as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for sort of like stopping in and chopping it up with me tonight. There's so much that sort of like came through. I'm sorry for like to anyone that I wasn't able to sort of like read for tonight, guys. Unfortunately, the guys just told me like, you know, we've only got time to work with 10 people tonight. So hopefully next week we're able to kind of like go a little bit more and have a few more people in the room and like, you know, utilize the time as much as possible. But for now, today was fun. This was good. I appreciate all of you guys. No, thank you, Bobby. Thank you for like stopping into the space. That was quite like a vague question. So I appreciated you even putting that out there, because then it challenged them to really dive into what is most important at the minute. So what you need to know at the minute, because I think that there's promotions or talks of promotions already like up there, like thoughts are already coming in as far as like downloads for you, but these 3 particular people are blockers for it. So they just kind of needed to relay the information so that you can actually be able to start opening yourself up and get ready for these blessings that are coming. Okay. On that note, everyone, it was awesome to check in with you guys tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the Aquarius full moon energy. Like I said, it's teaching us how to release like the pieces of ourselves that are no longer serving us, as far as like the way that we're showing up in society at the minute, and also parts of ourselves that has since changed, you know, since we've engaged with certain people, because we've changed a lot in the last, I want to say even 6 weeks. There's been so much growth that's taken place in the collective. So I hope that that treats you guys all well. And I will catch up with you awesome folks next. I'm not too sure if it's going to be Friday or Saturday now. I'm being completely honest, because I'm not sure just yet. When I just thought about it again, my mind hasn't made like a computed decision on that. So I'm not going to say to you guys a day, but look out for the live, you know, notification. And I guess that will, yeah, I'll be live next week. I'm not too sure. Next live, unfortunately, I've packed up already. So you can go for it. You can put a question out there. If it's not necessarily for the, go for it. Go for it, Mina. But we're going to close out the space, guys. So I will be able to catch up with you guys. I'm going to go and sort of make sure that everything's cool. I'm not just on auntie duties. I also have some wifey duties to get to. So it's going to be a long night. Last night, a guy sent me a request on Insta. When I opened it, the request was retracted by him. The account was newly created. Wanted to know if it was Ashan or Fahad who made that fake account. That's not a yes or no question. It's not a yes or no question. That's like choosing between two people. I want to go with Ashan because that's the one that is resonating. They were shook to actually like proceed. Okay. Like now that they've actually done it, they're actually like, oh, maybe this isn't such a good idea for me to kind of like keep this facade up. No, I wouldn't say Fahad. I didn't get Fahad's energy on the situation. Yeah, I didn't get Fahad's energy on the situation. Might have thought about doing it, but didn't necessarily sort of like pluck up the courage to do it. And this one, Hassan, decided not to do it in the end either. Okay. On that note, beautiful people, I'm gonna love you guys and leave it there for you guys. I will see you guys next whenever because I'm not sure just yet, but thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. I will see you guys. Stay blessed.
All the things they said to hold her back, they never seem to leave her head and tend to keep her mind at war. All the things they said to hold her back, they keep her locked inside of all the times when she's been hurt before.
Ta-ra, guys. See you guys next week.